I was born in Fort Myers, Florida, but raised in Brownsville, Texas. My parents lived about 7 years in Florida until they conceived me as a child. When I was born, my family came back to Brownsville, close to my parents' hometown in Matamoros, Tamaulipas. We stayed in Brownsville for about 7 years. Here in Brownsville, I attended pre-kinder and kinder, where I was in ESL classes. ESL stands for English as a Second Language, where you learn how to read, write, and speak English slowly but surely. Spanish was all my parents spoke and still speak to this day. Therefore, learning English wasn't as simple for me since I was only required to speak one language at home and school. This is because most classes here in Brownsville, Texas are taught by teachers that are mostly all bilingual. During the summer break of my kinder, going on to the first grade, my parents decided to move to Florida for a year. It was the most difficult year of all my elementary years. In Florida, about 90% of the classes are taught in English only. Hardly any bilingual teachers are available. You can imagine barely knowing a language and moving to a place where you can barely speak it correctly. Unfortunately, my parents couldn't help me with homework for the same reason. I struggled to turn in homework on time. Simple things like using a term in a sentence was so stressful and I felt helpless. As the class progressed, my grades were not. Fortunately, my first grade teacher noticed my grades and approached me after class. She asked me why I wasn't turning in my homework, and I told her that because English was my second language, I was having a hard time learning how to read, write, and speak it. After that conversation, she was able to place me in an ESL tutorial class after school. There I learned how to read English, and they showed me how to read the words carefully. I learned how to write a complete sentence and spell words correctly. By the end of my first grade, I was able to speak English, and I was able to hold a short conversation with other first graders like me. I was proud of what I was able to accomplish. Learning English as a second language is no easy task if you can't practice it at home. Now that I learned English, I am very proud of being a bilingual learner.